Rise and shine, real lights, welcome back to another video. Today, I want to talk about something that I heard when I was back at school. When I was at school, I heard a lot of teachers and a lot of grown-ups saying,
school was so fantastic, I wish I could go back to school.
And there was 14-year-old me thinking,
School sucks.
And before we jump into the first thing, this is from my perspective, and if you're not aware, I was not in the popular, I wasn't in the sportiness, I wasn't a cheerleader, I wasn't a nerd, I wasn't a geek, I was at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. If there was a chart, I would be down here. So, without further ado, let's jump into the first factor about school.
Most of your peers won't remember you.
Now, being forgotten at school, I think was a little bit more difficult for me than most of my peers because I was the only trans kid at school, so I was always known as the trans kid when I left. Do note though that I did actually leave school before trans really became a headline in the media, and most people didn't even know what the word transgender meant, so yeah, I guess I had it a little bit more challenging, so I didn't really get forgotten that quickly. But the good thing about being the trans kid was that was the only thing I was actually remembered for. There are definitely a few things that I probably could have got remembered by, especially in year 3 when I was sitting next to this kid and it was a spelling test and I needed to go to the toilet and the teacher didn't let me. The rest of that story, I'll leave up to your imagination. It was year 3, I was young. I was young.
I will never forget my year 3 teacher.
But it really doesn't matter what you got in your A-levels or your GCSEs because your friends group right there will know. Give it 5 years and they will have no idea what you got for French or maths or English or German or whatever you studied at school. And if you are going to be remembered, it will probably most likely be the people that you surrounded yourself with, which to be honest are probably a group that accept you and love you and are good friends with you. And I think a little thing that you can do to see how much you remember of your peers is to think back to your first year at school, whichever age that is, maybe it's 6, 7, 8, 9 or whatever. How many people in that class can I remember, and can I remember what they got on this exam and this exam? And I'm pretty sure you may only be able to name 20 or so people, and you probably won't remember more than 3 people's final grades for like a spelling test or something like that.
Friendships and relationships don't mean anything.
Now, as exciting and important friends groups are, most of the friendships that you have will come to an end. Now, friendships don't necessarily end at the end of a school year, they often end at the start of the next school year. And I think this is really important to say is if you go to one school and then there's 2 colleges near to where you live, half of those people will go to this college and half of the people will go to that college. Now, when you're at one of these colleges, you're not even going to know about these people. And when you go to that one college, and let's say there's 5 universities around that, all of those people that you knew, which was half of the people that you went to school with, will go to either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those universities. So more than likely, you can forget about your best buddy that sat next to you in IT, or the person that you used to go to lunch with, or the person that you used to sit in the field and make daisy chains with. I will never forget you. And this whole idea that you're going to meet the person that you're going to marry before the age of 18 or 16 or 21 or whatever it is often untrue. It can happen, but it isn't very likely. And if you think about it, 21 and younger, you're gonna be at school. Which kind of brings me onto this whole idea of relationships that you date at school and will end up to be the person that you're gonna marry. More than likely, they won't even last past university. With that being said though, I do know someone that actually got into a relationship while at school and went through college and now at university and they're still together happily. And out of the people that I actually went to school with, none of those relationships are still around. And when I think about why they ended, it was mostly because one went to one college and the other went to the other college. And I'm not gonna lie, it's so easy to form relationships in secondary school because you've probably known them from the age of like 6 all the way up to like 16. And like those 10 years, you've spent seeing them almost every single day.
Fitting in doesn't matter.
Now, I wish someone had told me this when I was at school, but being a loser does not define your future. Now, I wasn't the most academic at school, and I definitely wasn't the least academic at school, because I passed my maths and English, which, to be honest, is all that matters, despite what anyone else says. And I didn't really get bullied that badly, but you know, I definitely got some snarky comments now and then. But literally being at the lowest of the losers, well, it wasn't an easy ride for me, and of course that did get me down some days. And these stereotypes between being like a popular person, or a sporty person, or a nerd, or a loser, these stereotypes don't even stay or remain, or whatever you want to say, by the time that all of your year group have turned 20 or so. But with all of that being said, being popular isn't that great either. When I was at college, I would go as far to say as I was probably one of the top 10 most popular kids at college. Now, the difference between school and college, at school I was like trapped, at college I was free. I literally could do whatever I wanted to do. Now, when you're in this popular group, there's expectations and pressure and things like that. However, when you're in the loser group, of course there's expectations and not that much pressure, but no one really cares about you. But when you're in the popular group, everyone cares about you. And if you're going through a hard time, would you rather nobody know about it or the entirety of your school? I think the most important thing that you should get from this video is that kindness beats clout. No one cares if you've got 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers or 20 million followers. It doesn't matter. I went to school with two really popular YouTubers in this current time, I'm Alex and Belle Delphine, but I'm gonna be honest, they're not excellent role models. And if I can recall, I'm Alex was in the year above me and Belle Delphine was in my school year and was in my drama class, and their popularity or fame literally meant nothing. And if I think about the fame that I had at secondary school, I was making Minecraft videos that everyone knew about. My popularity was probably lower than the losers at school, thinking back.
That sounds about right.
A lot of people ask me about how did I become so popular at college, and I think about why. And the only reason that I think I was so popular was because I was kind to absolutely everybody. Ego was pushed out of the window and kindness and friendship to all was there. However, I do recall in the first week of college, someone did come up to me and was like,
Hey, you're Hannah, right? Can you be my trans best friend?
So on that note, thank you ever so much for watching, and remember as always to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. And on that note, goodbye. Bye!